Hello. Welcome, everyone. I am Kathy, Lichen Sclerosus Support Network Executive Director, co-founder, and your co-host for the Get Your Sexy Back workshop. And I'm so excited to be here with our host, sex educator extraordinaire, Shauna. Shauna, thank you so much for joining me today for this Q&A. I know we've been getting some emails about the program, and I thought this was a great way for us to just really answer the public's email. I mean, not emails, but questions. So,
Yeah.
real quick, introduce yourself and let the people know, who is Shauna?
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to be here this afternoon. My name is Shauna Farabaugh. I'm a certified somatic sex educator. I've been doing sex education since 2007, and I met Kathy quite a few years ago. We were connected by an amazing colleague and member of the Lichen Sclerosus Support Network community. And 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we started working on Kathy and I co-created the Get Your Sexy Back program, and I'm really excited that we're offering it again this year. And so happy to have an opportunity to really answer some questions for folks who are on the fence about joining us, so that you really know everything that's available and in store.
Absolutely. And I'm clicking all the buttons and not getting the right one. Lots going on the background here. So please ask your questions, put them in the chat, and we will answer them. We will show you all the things so we can show you inside the private community that you get with the Get Your Sexy Back. So maybe for those who aren't as um, know in the know about the Get Your Sexy Back program, how about Shauna, give them a quick couple minute overview of what it is, what they can expect, and why they want to join us.
Yeah, I love that. So the Get Your Sexy Back program is, gosh, we've made so many changes this year. At this point this year, it's an 11 session program that takes place over the course of 3 months. With me, you get 10 live sessions where we're all together as a community. And I take you through an arc to really help you reconnect to your body, reconnect to your sexuality, find your desire, find your voice, find your pleasure. And I want to say that I know all of those things probably sound a little bit intimidating, but what I love about this program is you can do it, we can do it, and we're going to do it together. So the program is those 10 sessions. In addition, the program is kind of amazing because you get your time with me, and I'm going to guide you, hold your hand the whole way through this arc of transformation. But you also get a shared community of people learning together. I'm really passionate about people learning in community, because when we work one-on-one, you get the information and I'm there to support you. But when we get to learn together, we go through an exercise or a practice, or we have a conversation about these sexuality topics, and you're having your own experience, but then you get to hear the experiences of other people, and it magnifies your learning, by the number times the number of people that are in community with you. So really passionate about that. So you get access to this community of learning together. Not only are we together in our weekly sessions, but you have 24/7 access during the program to an online community. You can jump in and share a message to celebrate something exciting that you've been working on, or to reach out on a day when you're like, this feels really hard and I'm scared and I want to say what's going on. And people are there to support you. So that's a pretty incredible resource. You also have access to Kathy's incredible library of years of resources, podcasts, videos, to kind of support your learning as well. And then one of the new things this year, we structured the program where we're together in mostly the month of August, starting the end of July. And then we have the month of September, I'll be away. And while I'm gone, you get a session with a medical provider who's going to really focus on the physiology of like pain during sex, which is a big question for a lot of people. So you get a bonus session there, and then we're back together to wrap up the program in October. So there's a lot of time as well for some integration and some practice, because we want to take you on a journey of transformation, and that we need to allow some time, right? You're going to learn new stuff. We're going to rewire your nervous system. We're going to discover new possibilities. And the program has that arc. So there actually is that time for things to change. Because it's interesting, sometimes people forget that we do need some time as we're learning something new. So we've got that built in as well. So that at the end of the process, things are different, right? Because that's what we want. That's what people are here for. And that's what we're going to do together.
Exactly. And that transformation is beautiful. We've seen it in our first iteration of this workshop, and it was amazing. In preparation for this iteration, I went back and watched some of the videos, specifically the one of our last session, and it was so beautiful to see the testimonials, to see it was someone who cried. She was so emotional about the change that she had seen over this time. So I think it was the transformation is what it is for me. I love it. So we are still getting some questions in. So the first one is the workshop appropriate for those with sexual inhibitions not directly related to LS? She has LS, or they have LS, but they've struggled with anxiety and inhibition for years. I think it's a great question.
It's such a good question. Yeah, I'm excited about that question. I mean, the short answer is yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And the longer answer, to build a little bit into that, one of the reasons that the answer to that question is yes is because like this is really like the program is about a sexual transformation, and the reality we're here in community, there's a big piece of it is about like how has lichen sclerosus impacted your sexual pleasure, your sexual identity, your sexual wellness. But the truth is, I think what's interesting about the program, and also hard to understand until you're a part of it, is that there is this piece of like the things that are about to unfold. It's like you don't know what you don't know. Right. And a huge piece of this program is we are going to change the way you think about your sexuality, about what's possible for you sexually. And we start in the beginning of the program, we focus on you, and we focus on your relationship to your body, and your agency is the word that I use, which is like really connecting to like, what is it that I want and what is it that I don't want? And there's ways, of course, that's going to support us related to how are we going to navigate the impacts of lichen sclerosus. But this is about like, as you said, like connecting to anxiety. Like, how do I understand my anxiety related to sex? And I think what's really exciting about the program is that, it doesn't just address those concerns that are related to lichen sclerosus. It's really designed to just change how you understand your sexuality and what you have access to. I often joke that with myself as an educator, oftentimes, people come to me to learn about sex. But what we learn in the context of our sexuality, which is about our own confidence, our desires, our agency, understanding our nervous system, it impacts all aspects of our life, right? So we get to learn about our sexuality, but it's really like a life improvement program in a big way. Kathy, is there anything you want to add to that question?
Yeah, definitely. I think that absolutely the answer is yes. And the beauty of this is that we did design it around our community, so specifically for people with lichen sclerosus, but it can be applicable for if your issues don't stem from lichen sclerosus, because you're absolutely right. It can be, and all different type of chronic illnesses can cause you to pull away from sex, can make intimacy, make it where you're afraid of having intimacy for whatever reason. There's embarrassment, all of these things. And LS isn't the only one. It's not exclusive, but it's the one that mainly affects our community. So I love that. Now, if you are, struggling with your LS as well, then that's why we've added that library of, right now it's over 30 different videos, and we're just going to add even more. And if you are looking for something and you don't see it in there, I am a message away, and I guarantee you I probably have the resource in it, and I just didn't add it to the library yet. So it's just a question of way of what it is that you're looking for. And these are sessions from other experts, because obviously we don't have enough time to bring in, 20 different experts to cover 20 different things. So we've taken our library of resources from other experts and replays from those videos, and really, let me just show you. How about that? Let's just show you what we're talking about, because it's really, really better to see than to be told.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Is that
That's
what they
the
say?
one. That is the one. Okay. So this is our private community. When you when you first come in, this is your start here. This is where the hub, right? And here where you see GYSB lessons, this is where our practices are going to be, our replays, once we start having the lessons. But right now, this houses our library of resources. So as you can see, we have it in different topics. So if I collapse, we've got medical info, sexual health, all of the things. And like I said, we can continue adding more depending on what the community wants. But even within those, now you've got different replays. Let me tell you, if you want to learn about lichen sclerosus and all the things, this video right here is a masterclass. It really is. And we've got so many other videos that, hey, there's Shauna, that from past events, that they are just so much a wealth of knowledge. The next beautiful thing is, you're like, okay, Kathy, there's like 30 videos there. I don't have 30 hours to be watching 30 videos. The beautiful thing about these are all on a platform called Searchy. So each video is keyword searchable, okay? Which is like having a Google for this video, which is amazing. So, all you have to do is go up here to this little keyword, this little magnifying glass, and you can put in any keyword. So let's just, I know steroids is a popular word when we're talking about lichen sclerosus. And so if I type in steroids, you see all the different times that it was mentioned in the video. It's a lot, right? And so you can read the transcript and see, is this kind of the information I'm looking for? Rather than having to skim an hour and a half video, you can go directly
So
to
that's
that
a really
clip
tough one
and
because
you can hear the information. So that is for all of these videos, which again is gold. It's going to save you so much time. It's like having, for those of us who are old enough to remember what an encyclopedia is, it's having an encyclopedia right there. And like I said, you can see we've got 8, 7, 7. There's so many different videos here, including some yoga on demand, yoga and stress management, because this is stressful stuff we're talking about, right? It can be really, really hard to be vulnerable and to put yourself out there and to really be introspective, what talking about these kinds of things. So we wanted to make sure that we give you resources to also help with managing stress. So
Yeah. Ooh, Kathy, can I add a thought there?
absolutely.
I mean, I want to say like, yeah, I mean, talking about sex is stressful for so many people. It's extra stressful when we've had like a sexual challenge like lichen sclerosus or so many others. So I want to validate that. But I also want to say I make it really fun. And so, I like to emphasize that like and all the feelings are welcome, especially on day one, but all the way up to day 10, all the feelings are welcome. But I just want to say, like, people get anxious, and I really think that maybe my special superpower in life is that I do make talking about sex as safe and pleasurable as possible. So just want people to know that that is a possibility. It actually could get easier, even fun, to really talk about sex and learn together.
You're so right. And actually that we passed well, some of our past members of the workshop actually said that. So looking back at like some of the testimonials we got, there's like she made a safe space for us, and was knowledgeable. I mean, I could have talked about anything with her. So, someone else said I can't. Someone said you made her feel the importance of loving herself and being able to have no hold bar honesty. And it made it feel safe for her to feel sexy again. So super, super acknowledging that there. Absolutely. So we got another question.
Great.
It said the information about on the workshop states this workshop is for you if you can tolerate sex with minimal or manageable discomfort. This is not the case for me. How important is it to place that statement? So otherwise, the workshop sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I can talk a little bit about it, and then definitely you wanted to talk about it. But I just want to say we wanted to set expectations.
Mhm.
So it's all about expectations. With this workshop isn't going to mainly address pain with sex. We've added that element where we are going to have rock star urologist Dr. Rachel Rubin, which if you've not heard about her, look her up. She's freaking amazing. And we're so excited. She's going to come in. She is a sexual medicine doctor as well. And so she's going to come in. She's going to do a presentation on what we can do as far as like managing pain with sex. And then she's going to answer your questions for an hour. And the thing with pain with sex is there is more than likely a physical reason why you are having that pain with sex. And as we're not medical providers, you have to work with someone to figure out what is the reason and how do we correct that so that you don't have that pain anymore, whether it's, treatment, surgery, physical therapy, whatever. That's more of we can't really build that into a workshop where we're going to help you not have pain with sex, if that makes sense. But we can bring in an expert to help you explore why you might be having that pain with sex and how to go about trying to get that remedied. So that's where Dr. Rubin is also going to come in. And then if you do have some minimal pain, she can also give us tips and tricks on what are things that we can do to help alleviate or help try to, not have it where that happens, because sometimes it is a matter of comfortability or lubrication, or there's so many different things. And so we put that in there because we want to make sure we set the expectations that that is not what this is for. This is more for if you are able to have sex and you want to have sex, but there's that hesitation, there's that embarrassment, there's that disconnect, and you want to get back to that connection. So
Yeah, thanks, Kathy.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I want to add, I like how, Kathy, how you named it, like we wanted to be really clear about the expectation management, right? Which is like the physiology of the pain during sex. There's specific care that needs to be navigated, and oftentimes that takes a care team. And what Kathy has named is like, so that specific information isn't what Get Your Sexy Back is all about. But what I want to say is that what Get Your Sexy Back is all about, and why I think that if you, as an individual, like who asked the question, if you're still working to resolve your physiological pain, as long as you understand the intention of the program, I think what the program offers is an incredible accompaniment to the work that you're doing with other care providers to resolve the physiological pain. And what I mean by that is the things that we're going to learn together. The things that you will know by the end of the program are about really supporting you in your body to understand your body's signals of pleasure and pain in new and better ways, to greatly increase your ability to communicate with a partner related to pleasure and pain. Like, these are things that are actually going to help you continue to navigate your healing, to continue to navigate your sexuality, and to have access to your sexuality while you're resolving that the sexual pain that's a physiological experience, right? And as Kathy named, also, I keep saying physiological because the tissue's involved, but we do know that like the experience of sexual pain is a full body. Our psychology, our spirit is involved in that as well. But what I want to say is that like the content of Get Your Sexy Back is an incredible accompaniment to that work, from the perspective that like a lot of what we're going to work on is understanding and expanding your knowledge of what it means for you to be a sexual person, right? So this comes back to the, like, you don't know what you don't know yet, which kind of makes it hard for me sometimes to like say what's to come. But a big piece of the program is for us to really dig in, and how do we stay connected to our sexuality for ourselves, with our partner? How do we keep enjoying pleasure in all of the ways that that word can be defined while we're navigating that reality of painful sex? So what's important to know is that the content of Get Your Sexy Back is not that specific content about like, what am I going to do to resolve the physiology of the sexual pain? But I think it's actually, as long as you understand going in, like Kathy said, with the expectation management, the incredible things that Get Your Sexy Back offers is really relevant and a great support for navigating that. And the last thought I'll say there, and then Kathy, I'm curious if you have any thoughts or reflections to add. Or the last thing I'll say is, I've been in this work for quite some time at this point. I've been a sex educator since 2007 and working with individuals one-on-one since like 2013. And a big piece of my work early on in my private practice, I'm in San Francisco, which is a really resourced place to be. So when I was working with clients with any kind of pelvic or sexual pain condition, most of the time, those clients that came to me, they'd already been working with an incredible pelvic PT, because I'm in a place where there's a lot of options, and that's not true everywhere. But what I found was that folks had worked with like a sexual pain care practitioner. Many of them had actually physiologically resolved the pain, and they weren't experiencing pain during sex anymore, but they were still stuck, because the absence of pain does not instantly make pleasure just appear, right? Their body still remembered and was kind of scared of sex because it hurt for so long. So that's another really important piece to name. This question was about, what if I still have pain? And we've answered kind of how to manage the expectation and how that works together. But connected to that, I do want to acknowledge, like, some folks have resolved the pain and they're like, yeah, but I still don't enjoy sex and I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. And that's what the Get Your Sexy Back program is really supportive, because we're looking at all those other pieces and they all fit together, right? Like, we so often with any kind of chronic illness, we really need a team. And I'm psyched to be part of your team.
Yes. I want to say, to piggyback off where you said, it's absolutely like, if when you're navigating that journey of resolving that physical pain, which does resonate into, I call it the subconscious, right? It's always listening, it's protecting you, so it's reacting to that pain. Working through a workshop like this have brings to that mindfulness, of to help that subconsciousness not draw back, because that the what we see a lot in our community is people who have been not navigating pain for years, and then they get to the point where their body is like, we don't even want to attempt sex, we don't want to look at anyone in a sexual way, because sex equals pain.
Right.
And so then when they are no longer in physical pain because they've fixed that part of the issue, now they have that other part, that subconsciousness part, that's like, we don't trust it. We're not there. We're not even we're still not doing it. And what Get Your Sexy Back does, it helps you to, first off, if you're navigating that journey, how not to get to that place of your body saying, no, we don't want it. We're not giving you a libido. We're not, we're going to set
Mhm.
off red alerts whenever there's, any indication that there's going to be any kind of sex going on. We're not going to, pleasure, that we're not even thinking about that, right? All of those chemical endorphins and stuff, it's not going to kick those off so that you want to have sex. So we're working with you during that journey so your body doesn't get to that point. But if you are at that point afterwards, like Shauna was saying, we built this to get to, so that you can ease that subconsciousness back into,
Mhm.
okay, it's safe.
Yeah.
We do want, pleasure is for us. It is good. I do want it, right? That transformation from, nah, I don't think so, to yes, give me more, right? That is the arc of the transformation that we built. And I want to also note that the other beauty of this program is that we designed it so that in the beginning, the first half is all about you. Like,
Mhm.
we're not even bringing partners into it until the
Mhm.
very end. And
Mhm.
that's if you choose.
Mhm.
So if you're single and
Mhm.
you're just like, I still want pleasure. I still want
Mhm.
to feel sexy. I still want to, self pleasure is a thing, right?
Mhm.
But if you're not craving it, then you're not going to do it, right? But you deserve, we're humans, we're sexual beings, right? So we don't want to turn that part of ourselves off. And so you don't even have to have a partner. You don't need a partner for this. You don't need to be in a partnered relationship for this, um, for it to work. It really is. We designed it so that it's about you and you get what you want out of it. And then if you want to add a partner, we talk about that too at the end. But it's all about you.
Yeah. Yeah. So well said, Kathy. I want
Mhm.
to add, like when you were acknowledging that, and you were using the subconscious, how our subconscious plays into that. I really want to highlight from that. This is one of the reasons that Get Your Sexy Back works that some other things don't, right? So I want to say that there are some of you out there, and maybe you're like, I read the books, like I know what they say, but like nothing's changed. And it's exactly because of what Kathy was just naming and using that term, the subconscious. It's like it's our bodies kind of knowing. It's not just about our conscious thinking. So what's really different about the Get Your Sexy Back program is that we don't just talk about these things. I'm going to share some new concepts with you that, for the record, are going to blow your mind. But we're not just going to talk about concepts. The Get Your Sexy Back program is really based on practice, right? So tiny little games and exercises that we play together in sessions that I offer to you that you get to play with during the week between our sessions. Because when we want to do the learning on that subconscious level, and the way to do that is through practice. Just talking about it or reading about it or thinking about it, it actually doesn't work that way. Right. So that's why this is different. And I think that's a really important piece.
Thank you. We do have a couple more questions. So the
Great.
next one is, I'm newly diagnosed and chronically single. I fear my future. Best advice for a new person. Absolutely. So I think, if being new with lichen sclerosis, first off, the library is going to be your best friend. Like, that information in the library, that's worth thousands of dollars by itself. Okay, just not even with the workshop. As a new person, you have all of the tools there to learn about this condition, get the best practices, learn about all of the adjunct things like pelvic floor physical therapy, all of the extras. Okay. You're also going to have an amazing community because we're here with you. You have access to each other 24/7 to ask questions, to share. Maybe, maybe you find someone and you're going on a date and you're asking the community, what should I wear? Show me some pictures, right? Whatever it is, we're your friend that helps you with your LS and this aspect of your life. Because one thing that we do here a lot is that people who don't have LS don't really understand, right? And so being in a community of your peers who get it, there's that no, there's no, what's the word? Y'all, I'm going through perimenopause. There's
I can't help you, Kathy. Me too.
no TMI. There's no such thing as TMI. We talk about it all, and there's no inhibitions. Like there's no embarrassment because we're all going through it, thinking about it, or thought about it, and we get it. So it's like a free zone to actually be yourself and ask these questions where there's no guilt. None of that here, right? It really is a safe space and it's secure, right? It's not like on a social media group where they're mining your information, they're listening to everything that you're saying and selling it off to the next person. No, our community is off social media, it's private, it's secure, and you can have that peace of mind of security and being in a place of acceptance with your peers. So I think this is a great place for you if you are, if you're new and you're ready for this environment. Absolutely. I know for some new people this can be a little bit overwhelming, so we did put that disclaimer in it again because we want to make sure we set expectations. But if you're new and you're like, I'm ready, I want to soak it up, I want to be in an environment where I can ask questions, share, and I can learn, welcome. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Shauna's got you.
We
The
got
community
you.
has got you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Kathy, I just want to add, I mean, the Get Your Sexy Back program is a game changer for sexual communication. And when I say sexual communication, I mean during sex. But I also mean relationally, right? In a relationship while dating. So I mean, I just want to say that, like, chronically single, new to navigating LS and dating, the tools that you will learn related to sexual communication from the Get Your Sexy Back program will have you like going on dates, and you're going to be teaching your partner how to communicate about sex and relationships. They're going to be like, where did you learn to be so comfortable talking about this? Pretty incredible.
yeah, that actually brings up something that you might remember I said when we were actually creating the curriculum was that a lot of the tools that Shauna is going to teach us in this workshop, they actually transcend sex and relationships. They really do. You can use these tools in other type of relationships, in work relationships, in friendship relationships, in and the beauty of some of her practices is you actually do them with your friends and your family because they're not about sex. They're about getting you in a frame of mind that lowers that panic, that fear, that uncertainty of your subconsciousness. So doing those in a non-sexual element with people that you don't have that relationship with actually helps your subconsciousness get used to and okay with those situations before you move into a sexual situation. So it really is like, you pick up so many great tips. Okay, so we've got, these are great questions, y'all. Keep going. So someone asked that, so they shared that they've had two surgeries. First off, so sorry. Surgeries are rough. I've had one, and yeah, two back to back is awful. and sex is painful, and they're still having some issues. So Shauna and I are not medical doctors, and we do not give out medical advice. And even if I had a medical doctor on here, they wouldn't be able to give out medical advice. But yeah, highly recommend working with either a gynecologist, maybe a pelvic floor physical therapist. It takes a team sometime, but we've got some great specialists. I will drop our provider directory in the chat, and hopefully you can find a provider in your area that will be able to help you out. Okay. Um, Another great question. Covering a variety of ages as well. Yes, this is so funny because we were actually just talking about this earlier. Um, Pleasure and joy don't have an age limit. Like, we, as babies, we find pleasure and joy in things, and why should we stop having pleasure and joy as we age? I think if anything, we deserve it more. We put in the years, right? We deserve nothing but pleasure and joy. So why not? For me, it's ageless, and I think it's a frame of mind. And I think as we transition, as we transform through the weeks and the lessons of this workshop, it really does go into giving yourself permission to have pleasure and joy in your life, and then what does that look like for me in this time, and then how do I ask for that with confidence, and then how do I get that, right? And there's that transformation. So yeah, for me, there's no age limit. I want to be having pleasure and joy if I live to see 99 or 100. I deserve it. So what do you have to say about that, Shauna?
I mean, yeah, I just like totally agree with everything you said, Kathy. I mean, the only thing I just noticed a story, and I will share it because I love to tell a story, is that, I mean, I want to just acknowledge that this question also just touches on this overall cultural question or story around, like, do we get to access pleasure as we age? And that's independent from lichen sclerosus or any other chronic condition. And I mean, just to reiterate what Kathy said, like, I mean, in the way I talk, fuck yeah, we do. And the short story that I'll share is, as an educator, and I was hosting a class for other educators, they were kind of like leveling up on some of their stuff, and students were doing independent projects. And one of my students did a research project specifically around sex and aging. And she found this documentary. I think the documentary was called like Senior Sex or something. But so she was reporting back on everything she learned, and just sharing some interviews from these like older adults talking about their satisfying hot sex lives with this group of sex educators. And I can't remember, there was like a specific quote. It was something about like how they thought about sex or how satisfying their sex was. And this like room full of sex educators, we were all like, we want to have senior sex now. So, I just love to like smash the idea that sex stops at a certain age, or that pleasure stops. And so, yeah, pleasure is ageless.
I love it. I love it. So, if there are any other questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. Some of the questions that I have seen have been, what if I cannot attend all of the sessions live? Some people, they've got kids, they've got, different things that they have to take care of. So they may not be able to attend all of the sessions. Should they still sign up? Is this right for them?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, the answer is yes. I mean, we record all the sessions, right? So that, because life is crazy, let's be honest, and so we understand that you might miss a session, and so the sessions are recorded, so you can access them at any time. I also think it's great that the sessions are recorded, because even if you're in a session, you might want to go back and re-watch a piece or redo a practice. So it's just another indication of that like incredible resource, right? That is available as a part of the program. So yes, life happens. We do record all of the sessions, and and we're here to like support you and support you in supporting yourself, right? So I'd want to invite folks to think about when you miss a session, like, will you reach out on the community to get that support, to make sure you watch that recording, right? Because we make sure all the resources are there for you, and we also want to be there for you to help you access them, right? Because I want to acknowledge, like, it can be hard. We make this commitment to ourselves, and then we're like, wow, this is hard to do. And I'm just emphasizing again, like, the value of we're doing this in community. You reach out to me, you reach out to Kathy, you post on the group. We're here to support you, because we want to be there with you on the other side to celebrate your transformation. And you are not alone in every step of the way, in showing up for yourself, in showing up for each other, and we're there to show up with and for you.
Absolutely. I think, just to reiterate, the fact that all of the sessions are recorded and then we do have that break in September, that is a perfect time for you to go back through and rewatch the recordings, go through the practices again, and just refresh and implement during that break in September, so that when we come back in October, you're like, oh yeah, I am here. I am ready to move on to the next step, part 2. Here I come, because I am primed and ready, right? And so really, in actuality, you have 2 months to really get these practices ingrained, that starting that transformation with just you, yourself, your eye, not actually talking about and thinking about sex as an act, but sex as pleasure, sex as joy, sex as something that is beautiful, and giving yourself permission to be there. And so the replays, the community is going to be really important. And the beauty of this, as well as, if you're not able to be there live, you've built this connection with this community that, we hope that as you go through and you go and you watch the replay, you can go and put your thoughts in the comments, and then the community can interact with you. So there, you can still have that back and forth, even if you're not able to be there live. So you don't miss that community aspect of it as well. So really, really important is not so much the being there live, but the engaging, and the being open. And I think that's where that's where the transformation lives, right? Is going to be in doing the practices, and in the connections, the community, and being able to engage and share. Because where we saw the biggest transformation in the first iteration was when people shared, I did this and this happened, or I tried this and now I'm feeling this. And then someone else could join, oh my God, that happened to me too, right? And then there might have been someone in the background who's like, you know what? I haven't done my practices yet, but I want that transformation. So I'm going to go do that too, right? So the more we communicated, the more we engaged, the more transformation we saw. So
Yeah.
really important.
Kathy, I just noticed before you throw out that next question that, I've been talking so much because it's so foundational to the program, and it really is like what makes the transformation possible is this idea of like practice. And I just realized I want to make really clear that it's like, well, what are we asking you to do? And I want to just, we're not talking like an hour a day here or something. That would be too much. When we talk about these practices, so many of them are like, a minute at a time. Right. And so maybe that's 1 minute a day in the 6 days between sessions. Maybe it's like 10 times one a day, and that's 10 minutes a day. Right. So these are like, it's not so much about like a huge chunk of time commitment, though I do want you to like feel into the gift you give yourself in this program, right? To make a commitment to your transformation. But I want to be clear that like, we're not asking you to like set aside, 10 hours a week. I'm asking you to be prepared to think about these things and feel your body like a few minutes a day, right? So just to be clear, like what we're really asking you, because I think that makes a difference. Like if someone was asking me to like, set aside an hour a day, I'd be like, that's a very different question.
Absolutely. And I just want to shout out, we got a new member.
Yay!
Welcome,
Welcome,
welcome. So excited to have you in the community. Loving it. So, yes, I think again, this is a transformative workshop. Some people, it is an investment. It's another question that we get a lot is why is it so expensive? And I know at LSSN, like we give a lot away for free. And we do have our Holistic Healing Summit, which is at a lower price point. But this is not just a 1 day, 1 hour, workshop. This is 11. So we added a session. This is 11 weeks of transformation. This is being in a community built specifically for you and this transformation for 5 months. This is we worked on creating this for 2 months. We were very intentional. We did research and we went back and forth to fine tune this. This is Shauna who's coming and bringing her time, who's an expert in this field. I don't know if you said this, Shauna, but Shauna works with chronically ill people who she's a sex educator specifically for people with chronic illness, which takes a different specialty than someone who just does general public, right? There's a different mindset that has to go into it, different nuances. And she has that. And so, these are all things that, and then of course, there's Dr. Rubin, there's the resources, all of these things that add up. And so, if we were to price everything out, which we actually did, this is over $7,000 worth of information and community and this workshop, this transformation. But in order for us to be able to cover all the costs that come with it, we did have to price it at this price point. And unfortunately, we don't have like sponsors and partners, corporate partners to bring that cost down yet. We absolutely are trying to work on that, so we can do that and bring it at a lower price point. But we do have to cover costs. So that is why this is such a higher price point than you normally would see from us. But we still thought this was so needed, so important. Then rather than say we're not just going to offer this, we just said we're going to offer it and make it available. And for those who are able to and want to have this transformation, they do have that resource there. We do have, like I said, other resources that are at a lower price point, but you're gonna have to do more of it by yourself. You're gonna have to. It's gonna take more time because you're going to have to. It's more of a self motivated thing. Whereas this is built for you. Is we're holding your hand. We've done the hard work, and we're just guiding you through this transformation. So,
yeah.
Okay. Anything to add before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just kind of feeling into that. Yeah, I think the thing I want to add, I want to just name, the program at this point, right, is priced at $1,200 for like an incredible amount of resources. $1,200 is what it would cost to see me one-on-one for 4 hours. So this is a lot of value for the cost of the program. And I'm noticing the impulse. Kathy, would it be appropriate to share? I recently got a testimonial from one of my clients who is an individual with lichen sclerosus that chose to work with me one-on-one. So spent 10 times as much as the program to work with me, but recently shared a reflection on what it was like to go through this arc. It's the arc that we are going through on Get Your Sexy Back. Would it be okay if I shared those
Yeah, sure, sure.
words? It meant a lot to me because I don't often ask my clients to reflect on what their experience is like. And so let me pull it up real quick. Oh, and then of course my computer's going to be impossible.
Oh, sorry, what?
Oh, I said, and then of course my computer's going to be impossible. So maybe it'll take me a bit to find it.
No worries.
Not gonna
And
do
you shared that this person also has lichen sclerosus, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked together one-on-one, going through the same arc as the Get Your Sexy Back program, because this is the arc that works, right? To address the challenges that folks face in navigating, reclaiming our sexual power and our pleasure after lichen sclerosus. Ah, you found it. Kathy's like so much. Kathy is better at most things than me.
So I just dropped it in the chat for you to read. There you go.
Thanks. Okay. Lichen sclerosus and other vulvovaginal disorders have had profoundly negative effects on my sexual health for 25 years. Working with Shauna has been life-changing. Over the past year, Shauna's non-judgmental guidance has helped me realize my own agency in sexual pleasure and desire. I've grown in my confidence, respect for my body, communication with my partner, and understanding of what sex is and what it looks like for me. I have embraced the sexual being I've been longing to be, but which for so long was out of reach. So again, the reason I wanted to share that is because that's what happens when we do this program step by step. And looking at that cost question, it's a lot more expensive to do it one-on-one,
Yeah.
And without access to all those other incredible resources and a community to see us through together.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, working with specialists is costly.
Yeah.
Even Dr. Rubin's time, it's in the thousand. It's over $1,000 to work with, to go see her. So it is something that we've recognized and we understand and we wanted to acknowledge and explain.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And so I want to ask how many are in the group. So registration is still open. We have 20 openings and we're so excited because we still have, I think we have about 10 open, 10 slots open, but we want to fill up. And last time we had this, we only had 15 open and we had 14 people in the group. So, we fully expect this to, as the last minute people, I am 100% a last minute person. I'm like, oh, an hour left. Let me get in there. You've sent me like 100 different messages, but it's that last hour. I'm like getting in there. So yeah, we have 20 slots only, and we're just excited to have a bigger group. And then one other question I have gotten before is with such, 20 people can feel like a lot on a Zoom call. So how are we working to get these transformations with so many people, right? Is it, do you get that time to speak, and how do you get comfortable with so many people in such a group like that? And one of the things that came out of our first iteration was the beauty of breakout rooms, right? When we introduced the breakout rooms, we really saw people connecting and we really saw the engagement. And so we've embraced the breakout rooms. We've made it even more integral into the workshop. And so breakout rooms is a big part of a workshop. So if you have issues with breakout rooms, just full transparency, we do breakout rooms. But it really is, it's a beautiful thing when, I'm hopping in and out of the different rooms, making sure everybody is doing good. And there's like this flow of communication, this flow of ideas, this flow of, just experiences being shared, and people just soaking it in and like, oh, I should try that. Oh yeah, that worked great.
Mhm.
Um, and so, you know, don't be scared of the breakout rooms.
Mhm.
To say that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we implemented this time is a welcome session.
Mhm.
So, you know, we heard from our past participants, it would be great to meet the people that we're going to be in this workshop with before we start the workshop, right? So, and this I'm going to be hosting, and I'm a fun person. Um,
That is so true, Kathy. It's so true.
and it's not going to be about lichen sclerosis or sex. It is literally going to be us coming together, having fun, getting to know each other, and just breaking that ice so that when we do go into the first session and we start talking about why we're there, and we've already had this connection started with the rest of our members, our community members, because we really do care and want you to have the transformation. And so we, like Shauna said, we are here for you
Mhm.
every step of the way. You are not alone in these. Until the end of the year, it's not even until the end of the lessons. We're here for you until we close down the community January 1st. And then after that, we're just an email away.
Mhm.
You're never alone again, literally. Like you have a question, email Shauna. She'll send you,
Mhm.
okay, here's something to work on. Here's a website. You
Mhm.
email me. Here's a resource.
Mhm.
We got you. We got
Yeah.
you. So, one question: how do you record the various breakout rooms so they can be listened to? Okay, that we cannot do.
Yeah.
That breakout rooms are not recorded. So those private conversations, those you would have to show up live for, in order to interact. But you will have Shauna's lesson and the practices, her explaining the practices and things like that. That's part of the recording. But yeah, unfortunately, breakout rooms, that would have to be you showing up live. But here's the caveat: you can still have a similar experience in the comments, right? So, or you can also have, if you have someone that you really connected with, or you have a group that you really connected with, say, hey, listen, I missed the live. Can we do some of the breakout sessions? Can we meet on a Zoom and do some of the breakout sessions together?
Exactly.
Anybody want to, get more practice in and want to meet me on a Zoom, and let's do these together. So there's different ways to go about it to make up for that. But yeah, the breakout rooms are not recorded.
Yeah. But I love that you named that, Kathy, because that's what I was thinking of, and it's like, I just want to clarify that that's not just like a hypothetical. Like, we would encourage you to do that, right? So you watch the recording and then you jump on the community and you're like, hey, I'd love to practice that exercise. Like, who's available? And I want to highlight too that like the act of doing that, that's also us noticing what do I want? I want practice. Can I ask for it? What's it like to receive it? So we're just practicing all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you can, sorry, you can register. Registration is open until Sunday, the 13th. We have brought the price back down to 1,200. And like I said, we are just an email away. We are a message away. We're always available. And we're excited. I'm excited. So excited. Like we had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm excited to kick off
Mhm.
Get Your Sexy Back 2025. It's gonna be sexier than ever.
Oh my God, that should be the tagline. Sexier than the first time.
I love it. I love it. All right. Any last questions before we hop off here? We got about a minute left to our live. And while we wait, Shauna, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming back and doing this again with us. I'm excited.
Oh, Kathy, you're so welcome. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. Yeah, and just, last thoughts to the folks that are here. Like, I'm so excited to share this with you. So we would love to have you with us. I can't wait to celebrate your transformation in just a few months. So I really look forward to you joining us.
Yes. So when I asked, are all the classes in Eastern Standard Time? Yeah, they are in Eastern Time. Currently, we're in Eastern Daylight Time. But yes, they are in Eastern Time. But you can easily, once you get in the community, you can change your time zone. So all of the times show up in your time zone. So, yeah, because Shauna is in Pacific time. I'm on the East Coast. So we try to find a time that was decent for both of us. All right, guys, thank you so much. Once again, you drop us a message if you have any questions. Register. We are over the next 2 weeks. Shauna will be having her one-on-one sessions with all the different members. So you do get a 15-minute session with Shauna, so you can set your goals, so we can be focused on getting you the transformation that you want out of this. It's very much an individual hand-holding kind of situation. So love it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Everybody.